I didn't think I'd ever have to make this video. I didn't want to ever have to make this video. I don't want to make this video now. It goes against all I hold dear and think is good and true and right. Nobody can make me make this video. I did not want to make this video. I did not want to make this video. Cue the intro. I'm kidding, of course, but if you did remove all of the videos on YouTube that people said they didn't want to make, didn't think they'd ever have to make, you'd lose at least a third of the stuff that's out there. The content would be gone. So there I was, living my best crazy critter lady life, and I was hanging out with my raccoon, who last night finally brought her babies to see me. I knew she had babies, and sure enough, there she was with 3 little miniature versions of herself. Oh my gosh, so cute. And I've been up all night. I've been kind of an insomniac anyway. And just as I was thinking of going to bed, because I do have my pajamas on, well, they will be pajamas when I sleep in them, I saw Twitter starting to have a lot of activity. Credit to Sanders Kennedy for putting up a video that somebody made about Jeffree Star. So thank you, Sanders Kennedy. I put a pot of coffee on and we're going to unpack this piece by piece. This guy Tab, soon to be ex-friend of Jeffree Star, put up a video that he felt he just had to get off his chest. And let's take a look. Deep breaths.
Alright, I'll start by saying I've never made a video like this before. And I never wanted to make a video like this before. But
okay.
It is what it is, so...
It isn't what it isn't.
Give you 5-6 minutes to tell you my story.
Okay, first impression, I actually like him within the first seconds. Right, he's a very level-headed, clear-eyed guy, isn't he? He comes off as credible right away. I will say, I don't understand why he has "I'm sorry" tattooed to his chest. That's a young body. What are you apologizing for? At your age, I would have tattooed "You're welcome." Now I have to tattoo an apology to my husband, okay? It's like, I'm so sorry. Can you fit "so sorry" on there? And then my condolences on my ass.
That's all I can really do. I've been trying to speak out about this since a couple weeks after Valentine's Day 2020.
Oh.
So I'll start with giving a little background of me and Jeffree's friendship. We met around 13 years ago, maybe 14 years ago, off of MySpace, and some similar friends that we had been involved with. And when he came to Vegas, we had just become friends and really just acquaintances online over time. And I had my own troubles in life and kind of just disappeared from the internet for a long time. And kind of just did my own thing off the internet. This is hard for me and I'm nervous because I'm not a snitch. This really does go against everything I believe in.
Then why are you doing it?
Like no real friend should do this. This is not tea.
Oh, that's where we disagree.
Or whatever you guys call it. This is not cancel culture.
Oh.
I hate people being canceled. I know people can change. I'm just trying to speak my truth. But Jeffree told me he can't be canceled, so I'm going to make this video and see what happens.
Right there, his motives aren't very clear to me. They were friends, they were acquaintances. He says this goes against everything he believes in and a friend wouldn't do this. I could see saying you're grappling with the issue of making this video, but why are you making yourself sound like you are absolutely a terrible person for making this video? You have to stand by your convictions. You can say, I feel conflicted about making this video, but I believe it's the right thing.
So, I had got a message from Jeffree saying he was coming to Vegas for Valentine's Day. And I was pretty excited about it because I hadn't seen him in a long time since the campaign I did for him. And I'm going to include those pictures in a few videos. So, the story begins me coming up to the hotel room. He had his hair, makeup artist, bodyguard at the time. I'm not going to mention names. And another person who was there, I'm not going to mention their name also. And we were supposed to go see Gwen Stefani, actually, live in concert. And basically she canceled the show. So we were all figuring out what we were going to do for the night. And I had stepped outside on the patio And Jeffree had told me, like, wow, I can't believe she canceled the show, and continued to say a very derogatory word towards Jewish people. It starts with a K. I'm not going to repeat the word, but that's what he said about her canceling the show. And it's not Let's Go Fly a Kite. And initially, my stomach dropped. It hurt my feelings. I had been put into a position really where I hadn't seen Jeffree in a couple of years, and his new world and new friends and new entourage. Even in the first 10 minutes, I was pretty much overwhelmed. So we had decided to go shopping.
I believe him so
at
far.
the Crystals Mall.
I believe him.
And his assistant had called or whatever and made sure it was cool for us to come to the store. And when we went to the store, we were looking at all this different stuff, all these different bags or whatever, or different wallets or whatever inside of the store. And Jeffree had made a specific comment about illegal leathers and exotic animal skins that are available at Hermes, but aren't legal in the state of Los Angeles.
And Tiger King?
And he had made a comment saying
the state of Los Angeles.
The same mayor that's making exotics illegal in Los Angeles is the same mayor that is giving illegals green cards. I looked at everyone else's reaction when he said that. They all looked at me. We all kind of just sat back and was like, wow, I can't believe he's saying this, and...
Hang on. Okay, so he's nervous. He said he was nervous. Either that or we're not dealing with a Jeopardy contestant here. But everybody knows in the state of Los Angeles and the country of California that that's a very thing to say. Extremely. And so far, this guy, to me, his body language, the way his eyes are looking, he seems credible. Of course, I'm looking at this through my skepticals. I will listen to both sides of the story, and I'm interested to see what Jeffree has to say about this. But so far, I'm looking for things like, is there jealousy? Did Jeffree suddenly cut him off? I mean, this is a long friendship, right? He said like 14 years, so it's not like he's seen the best side of Jeffree, because by all accounts, Jeffree has improved. So it's kind of weird that this is happening now, and that's why I'm paying attention to see if there's some other motivation. But so far, what I'm gathering is that this person, in our current climate, where everybody is encouraged to speak up when they hear anything about them, anything about inequities, anything unfair, I feel like part of it could be inspired by that. People coming out now and saying, these young people are not just going to be silent when there's an injustice. That could be a motivating factor, but let's continue.
It sucks. So we go back to the hotel room. We're getting ready for the night, and I was wearing sweatpants this particular night, and they wanted to go to a nightclub, so they had a dress code. Here in Vegas, we have dress codes for clubs, and I had told Jeffree, hey, I'm just going to go home because I had already been feeling uncomfortable, but he begged me to come to the club and was like, hey, you can wear a pair of my security guard's pants, or I could buy you a new outfit, whichever you'd like.
Why'd you go?
I was like, okay, I will take the pants from the security guard. So when we were walking to his hotel room, which was a couple of rooms down from Jeffree's at the time, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he had told me a story about how he was an ex-police officer, and he had got fired in Miami for saying the N-word on the job, and Jeffree flew him from Miami to be his personal bodyguard or security guard or whatever, knowing that about his past.
That's something I really want to hear the full story on in context, because there could be so many things going on there. Looks terrible, but for all we know, the guy could have told Jeffree he never said it, but he got fired for saying it, and Jeffree, knowing what it's like to be canceled, gave the guy gave the guy another chance. I don't know all the details there, but it sure looks like this friend is really throwing gasoline on the fire of Jeffree's already tarnished reputation. So let's see what happened.
So when he had told me that, I already had this gut-wrenching feeling. So I got back to the hotel room.
By the way, I just want to stop and say, by the time this posts, some of you internet hound dog sleuths will know the name, whether it's Colin or Ronan, whoever that Miami security guard is. I guarantee you there will be more details on him. People are so good.
I put the pants on. We went to the nightclub. And it was kind of just a mess all from there. I mean, like, the next stories will probably be just as bad. So we get back from the club. It's probably around 5 a.m. And there had been a friend earlier in the night that was in the room that didn't attend the club with us. I'm not going to mention the name. But
was it by any chance somebody by the name of Schmadis that it rhymes with?
They had continued to make fun of this person all day, talk about how bad their skin was, body shame them, talk about their weight, talk about their past drug abuse, talk about their recovery, just the most disgusting, horrible things for him, his crew who does hair and makeup, who works in industry, to say. He had brought up Black China, a woman of color, and talking about how stupid she was. And there was a particular time in the night where this guy named Rich Lux, or whatever his name is,
you do stay in your own
come
lane.
up to the hotel room with 2 security guards or
assistants,
whatever that was about, and he had bought Jeffree a gift from Hermes, the same store we were at earlier. And Jeffree let him stay in the room for a good 10-15 minutes. The second he left the room, Jeffree tells me and everyone else in the room, like, yeah, he got me the cheapest thing in the store. And it's just funny. I already have that.
I'm really uncomfortable with how out of context this is, because I don't know if Jeffree was, sometimes friends will have banter with their other friends even when they're not there. I have friends who do that to each other all the time. They'll say stuff to each other's faces, but they'll also rib each other even when the other person isn't there, just as part of their good-natured banter. I get the feeling, based on this person's discomfort, Tab here did not get the impression that it was good-natured. I mean, I'm getting a picture that Jeffree just talks bad about everybody the moment they leave the room. And I always kind of got that impression about him. Mr. Hollywood, I wondered if that was true. And I believe it. I believe that they did do that. And you can see he's uncomfortable with it. And he did make a mention of him saying something about a person of color. He has that right now. He probably is not comfortable being in a room where people are being unkind to people of color. And that is actually something good that's happening in the world. In the middle of all of this other stuff, at least younger people are not comfortable being silent in the face of injustice or in the face of perceived.
The reason why I mention that is because he has a tendency to just talk bad about everybody. And it really just sucks, like it hurts your feelings. And he has this way of kind of making it seem like it's okay.
Wait, why does it hurt your feelings? He said it hurts your feelings. I understand he's having empathy for other people, but I feel like something specific happened to him that we should know about.
Because there was a moment where I had stood up and said, I'm not cool with body shaming, and I'm not cool with people talking about people's skin. And Jeffree had told me, don't worry about it. This person does this to themselves on the internet, so it's okay for us to do it.
Yeah, see, he's not comfortable with what they're saying about her, but, her doing that to herself on the internet doesn't make it okay. I think we all know that there's something wrong with the person whose name rhymes with Schmadis. I think we know that she wouldn't appreciate it. She's very sensitive.
And another one of the disturbing part of the stories is, him asking me for Adderall or to find him Adderall or bottles of Adderall, and I honestly couldn't believe it.
Why? You said you knew him for a long, long time. This is weird to me, because why would Jeffree think you had it, first of all? Why did he have reason to think you'd be able to get it? But also, why are you so shocked about it? Maybe he wanted it for someone else. You don't know. But you said he was making fun of somebody's drug use and then asking you for drugs. And the part that is unusual for me is because people in LA who have money in particular, they don't need to ask you for Adderall. They can get it very easily. And I went to a doctor in Beverly Hills, and I had an injury. We were on the set of something, and I had an injury, and I was in a lot of pain. And he nudges me, and he's like, "What's your favorite?" And I was like, "Hold on a perk a second there." He had you're in LA and you've got money. The doctor's got the change thing. He's got a Pez dispenser with Vicodin popping out at you, and coins, those things. Cha-ching, cha-ching. What can I get you, honey? Ka-ching, ka-ching. Give me, send you home with a nice recipe for a Percocet smoothie. I got enough problems with my carb addiction. But Jeffree asking him for Adderall, so what?
And anyone who knows Jeffree personally knows that he does just say crazy things randomly and just says the most horrible, shocking things at all times.
So was he just trying to shock you?
Be shocking or be interesting or unique, and I don't really know.
So did you ask him if he was just trying to shock you, or did he want the Adderall? I don't get it.
I don't know exactly how to explain that or why I put up with it for so many years. I really couldn't tell you. But what I will say is, Jeffree's not trans. He's not non-binary. And he's a grown man, and he's 34 years old. And
I don't understand the purpose of that. His gender identity has nothing to do with anything. He hasn't made some false claim about his gender. That's beyond, that should be beside the point. If you're not comfortable with people saying things about people's skin and how they look and body shaming, then don't bring something into it like gender identity. That has nothing to do with your complaints about Jeffree so far.
And he's a grown man, and he's 34 years old. And the way that he talks and treats people when not being filmed and not on the internet is a completely different situation than what he posts on the internet. And for me, it is hurtful, and it is basically all lies. Money's never been a big issue for me. I grew up in the punk scene. I don't care about money. I've never have. I feel like that's maybe why me and Jeffree's friendship has lasted so long. I'm also not a yes man, and when I have friends, I tell them the truth. And I've noticed in the last 5 years, Jeffree surrounds himself with a lot of yes men, and if they don't agree with what he says, they get fired. Like past assistants of his or all of his old friends.
This is true.
Every single one of them.
I believe it.
But my question to you, Jeffree, because I know you'll be watching this, is have you really changed? Have you really grown up like we talked about?
Wait, hang on. Why are you asking him if he's changed if you're making this video because you think he's changed for the worse, or you just can't take it anymore and now you're showing private messages? This I don't like.
Text messages. Money isn't everything in this world. Fame isn't everything in this world. Views isn't everything in this world. Honestly. If Jeffree makes a video or a story on Instagram, denies my story, says any of the words that I just said were untrue or a lie, it will basically just prove in my heart that how lost and gone he truly is.
Yeah, this is going to do a lot for Jeffree's trust. The fact that you just shared private messages where he's being very nice to you.
I don't care about clout. I don't care about fame. I don't want anyone to follow my Instagram. I don't want anyone to attack Jeffree. I don't want anyone to get anything out of this but the truth and what I witnessed.
Yeah, but the truth is going to get him hate. You must know that. If you're saying the truth is that he said something so anti-Semitic and all of these racist things, how do you think he's not going to get hate for this?
And how I seen my friend change in front of my eyes. Jeffree's 34 years old.
How did he change? You knew him 14 years ago when he was like 100 times worse, according to everybody, including him. Now he's changed?
I'm 32 years old.
I'm 52.
I think it's time for
I'm this many.
Jeffree to put the internet down, honestly. Stop fighting with teenagers and kids on the internet.
Who? Who are you talking about? Who's the kid?
Stop begging for acceptance from people on the internet. Dig deep down within his soul. Understand that the words that he says have effects on people. They do hurt people. Mm-hmm. And in time, it will all catch up with you. I'm the last person in his world that he would think I would make a video like this. I shocked myself. My family's been telling me for weeks not to do this. My friends who know Jeffree and know our history and know our friendship have told me not to make this video. And I didn't want to.
You know, I have to say good for you for doing what you think you have to do. Everybody telling you not to do it is weird, but you saying you shocked yourself, it's almost like it's beyond your control that you're making this video.
And I didn't want to. And it sucks to miss a friend, to lose a friend, or going to be missing a friend, or feel like I'm coming for him, and I know he thinks everyone's jealous of him because of his money, and I'm just not that one. I've been real with him since day one. I've always been real. I've always been there for him. I'm going to include screenshots in this video to show you that. You know, I'm legit. I've always been around, and I've always known what's happened, and I'm just not really afraid to speak my mind anymore. I've spent my whole life shutting up and not speaking my truth and telling the truth and being an enabler and kind of distancing myself from the internet world and what he does and what I do, because I'm in my own lane and I do my own thing.
Okay.
But I will end this video on saying that I'm not afraid of being sued. I'm not afraid of legal actions because I know my truth. I know what happened. I know that I'm telling the truth.
Listen, most people don't have to be afraid of getting sued if we're being honest here. Even if you do get sued, because you can sue anybody for anything, defamation in the United States of California is very difficult to prove.
And you can take this story and do what you want. You can say that people can change overnight or change in time. But I will tell you this, Jeffree, I really hope that maybe this video can open up your eyes and really just make you...
I'm sorry. That just makes me think of what Jeffree's reaction would be, and it's not going to be one of having his eyes opened. If Jeffree responds to this, you can believe he's going to be livid. That's my prediction, that he will be like, how dare you? You were my friend. I was a friend to you. You know, he's going to say he took everything out of context.
Change, and really change, honestly, not just for the internet, and see how your words affect other people and how your absence, even in the last 3 months, has given me severe anxiety, depression. I've been hurt over this. There's other people in the room that night that are dealing with the same anxiety, depression that I'm dealing with from interactions with you. And you have a young fan base, you have people who watch you. My advice to you is put the internet down, find yourself, take some therapy, and
why?
In some way, you know, I still have love for you, and it sucks. So
why does he think the answer would be for Jeffree to put down the internet? He's not even on the internet that much.
Like I said, I don't want anyone to come try to find me. This isn't tea. This isn't canceling Jeffree. I hope and pray one day he can truly change and just open up his heart and open up his eyes and see the real deal and know that love and real friendship and the state of the world and all the horrible things that are going on is what's really important. It's not about saving face. It's not about the internet. So that's my story, and I'll see you guys next time.
I believe out of the people that he mentioned, maybe he did damage with Schmisha Schmadis, because of the DMs that look like she doesn't like Jeffree, and the things that Jeffree said about her she might believe. Maybe he could have done damage there. I don't think the Rich Lux thing will cause a fracture in that friendship, because I think Rich Lux will probably laugh about it, or, you know, tell Jeffree he understands that that was just something he said after he left. I think we all know the cheapest thing in the Hermes store is nothing to sneeze at. It's a wonderful gift. Jeffree probably does have 12 of them, but that's not the point. It's the thought that counts. You know, I'm sure in those situations, it's possible that Jeffree says stuff he doesn't mean because of how he is. And this person claims to know him very well. So this can't be a surprise. This can't be anything different. He used to be much worse. So I wonder what the timing is now. Like, what happened? It almost seems like perhaps he was always like this, maybe, and, you know, having more and having less consequences maybe did bring out a side of him that he can hide that's worse. But it seems to be that this person has a point about Jeffree not keeping his friendships. Like I said, I think Rich will not be upset with him and will probably, you know, try to brush it off with him. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think of Tab? Credible? Not credible? I have to say, looking at the body language, at the history, at the motivation, I'd have to say he seems pretty credible to me, but I want to hear the other side. I'm always open to hearing the other side, because then invariably, after something like this comes out, you'll find out Jeffree just fired him. Like he didn't get into the latest campaign. At least that's what he'll wind up saying. But as far as the things that he says he heard, I believe it. I do. I believe him. I'm going to go with credible. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you like this style of video. It was certainly fun to make. And I look forward to interacting with you in the comments down below. Until next time, Hausfrau out.